So for a while there, were you feeling like the scene in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will Smith is talking to Uncle Phil about his dad, and he's out there like, "How come you don't want me, man?" Did that not feel like the Blue Jays for a while?
You're gonna relate the Blue Jays free agency
Yes,
woes
to
and
Fresh
pause
Prince
to
of Bel-Air. Was it
Fresh
not the same feeling for like a good 3 weeks? Like
I mean,
everyone
it
was
kind of
going
sucks.
somewhere else, and you're just
It
out there
kind of
like,
sucks, dude. Especially when I found out that we actually offered the most money on the
mm-hmm.
table, and you're still like, you waited that long?
Yeah. And they offered more for Lindor. Like
Yeah,
made an offer Lindor, which is like the same thing.
yeah,
And they were interested in Hendricks, and they were interested in every other name that jumped off the board. And Hae-Sung Kim and
dude.
the kid,
They had DJ on the list. They still have names on the list, but I don't know why
right.
it's just
So
not like.
did it not feel for a good stretch there like we were Will Smith in the situation?
I guess in a way we were
Right.
standing there,
How come you don't want
one
me,
with the
man?
money. Yeah.
Constantly. Constantly. That's what I felt. Anyways. But we're all good. George
We
Springer,
got one.
we finally got one. He signed. I mean,
Technically the biggest one in the pond.
sure. We reeled in the trophy fish. One of
Yep.
the trophy fishes. There were a couple in the pond. We got one of them.
Yep.
They signed him to a 6-year, hundred
150
fifty
million.
million dollar deal.
Yep.
I like
Yep.
it. Obviously 6 years at 31 years old for George Springer is going to be interesting near the end. I can't deny that. But for what he's getting paid, I don't hate it. Like $25 million for one of the premier outfielders in baseball, you can't really complain, right?
I don't see that big, honestly, like that big of a drop off within 6 years, especially if you're able to kind of maintain like his style of play
Exactly.
is not like he's not like he doesn't have like fast wheels.
No,
He
he's
doesn't
like
have like
an athletic guy, and he hasn't been
yeah,
around that long either. We were looking at it yesterday. He's
no,
only been in the league since 2014. He's only
right.
7 seasons, and one of them was last year, so it's not even a full season. So like he
Yeah,
doesn't
and
have the wear and tear.
and he's 31, I think, for the majority of the season. Like his
Yep.
birthday is September time from what I've gathered. So, it's I think it's a really great addition to this team. I think it finally breaks that kind of free agent spell of
Yeah,
the Blue Jays can't sign the big name.
we never got the big guy.
No.
Which even last year with Ryu, we got a big guy, but he wasn't the big guy. Like we didn't go out and get the Garrett Cole or the Steven
No.
Strasburg. We got Hinge and Ryu, and it's awesome. I love it. Best pitcher we have. But he wasn't that like top guy that
No.
you're like, we got him. But now,
Yeah, it wasn't like a bidding war, I feel.
no, it wasn't really
The
like,
way that it was now.
it
Yeah.
didn't feel like there were that many teams after Ryu as much
No,
as
and it's weird to say like I was a lot more confident once I saw Ryu out there and I heard the first
it just
initial
seemed
like
like
whisperings. I was like, you know what? I was like, yeah, that's gonna be perfect. That's
Exactly.
exactly who they're. That's a perfect fit.
Yeah, it just seemed
For
like our
both-
type
for
of guy.
both of them. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, there's obviously the elephant in the room with George Springer. He was a Houston Astro.
Yeah, and like definitely admitted to contributing. But he did it. I think probably the most sincere way out of all of them.
Sure, this is so. I am flip-flopping on how I feel about the George Springer signing. I love George Springer, the player. I think George Springer, the center fielder, is an incredible addition to any team.
Mhm.
But it's just we've talked for so long about the Astros and how garbage that franchise was for what they did and the players on it and all that. And I know from what I've heard, George Springer is an incredible human being. He does a lot for the community. He had a stutter when he was younger, and he does a lot
Right.
talking for other kids with stutters. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Great guy. But to me, the fact that none of them faced any repercussion for what they did, it still kind of just like irks me a little bit. Like he never had to deal with anything. And
I feel like that's
now,
more
like,
of a miss on Rob Manfred though. Like
yeah, absolutely. But like, it still just bothers me that that's a thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to care.
Right. And I feel like coming with that baggage everywhere that you go, especially signing to your first team after the Houston Astros, like you're going to want to prove to everybody, like, look, I didn't need any of that. And I am like, sincerely sorry about doing that. So now we're probably going to get the best George Springer this year, probably even next year. Like he has a chance to be that old George Springer before the trash can days of just being the best leadoff hitter.
Yep. And like the one thing, so there's the whole trash can thing. I get it. And like you would obviously be a little concerned about what guys' numbers look like coming into last season and this season. And you saw guys like Altuve and Bregman take a hit. and it makes a lot of sense. But like, if you look at George Springer, his numbers really don't dip that much when he go like. So I think the best way to look at it is looking at his home and away splits, and his career average in general is 270. His career average on the road is 279. So he's got a better average on the road than he did at home. So it's like he's also hit 93 of his 174 home runs. So like a little under half of his home runs on the road. So yes, you could say he played a role in the cheating scandal, and I'm with you. I'm here for it. But I don't know if it actually made that big of a difference in his approach to the plate and the way he hits the ball.
No, and I feel that if Toronto felt that was the case, that if it was a big game changer for him to cheat and be successful, they wouldn't have approached him, especially with so much money. Like, this is a statement, and they said this when Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro were first introduced to the team, that they were going to spend money, but it was going to be later on down the road, and it was going to be around this time.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they've done. And like we were here, like you said, we were hearing about them. We're names with Bauer, with with Springer all the time. That's what I mean. Yeah, and we were always kind of around them.
Yeah, we're still in that territory where we can still go for guys like Trevor Bauer and Brad Hand's another name that's been out there right now. Like, there's still the big names on the board.
I thought he was with the Mets. I don't know if I guess he didn't finalize that.
I don't think so.
Nothing yet.
No.
So it's still a name out there. It's always good to add to your bullpen,
Yeah. So I mean, but like they're willing to spend. I think that's really cool, and I think that's what this George Springer signing kind of shows. It's like, you know what, we want to win, and this is a team we want to see succeed in the MLB, and I love it. I love watching this, and the fact that it's happening right now. It's great. I think they have the team to do some damage, and pretty wicked. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think they're still in need of a couple little pieces to actually be like contending. Like, I heard that they all of a sudden jumped up to, I think, like World Series like favorites, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the favorites to win the World Series. Yeah, it's like from the Springer signing, and I just can't believe that fully yet.
No, the Dodgers still exist.
Right, exactly. And there's still teams out there that give them challenges, and so until I think they get at least another couple of names, and I'm not saying they need to go out and get another huge name.
No.
Because we have the talent within the organization to be the other huge names in the league.
Yeah.
Like between Bo and Vlad, and if Gurriel Jr. actually sticks out, then
absolutely.
Those guys have the potential to be legitimate.
We don't need to go get another premier bat or premier anything. It's like, if you're going to get a couple reliever, a couple starters, and like a bottom of the order bat, I think that kind of just completes what you have right now, because obviously the depth is there, and you've seen it for a couple of years now in what this team has, and like the depth 1 through 9 in that lineup is, you don't want to face it. It's arguably one of the best lineups in the AL.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be – the George Springer edition has already put more fear into pitchers' eyes going forward, right? Like, you're going to be looking and, like, really having to strategize against this lineup because they're getting to that point where if you make mistakes, they're going to take advantage of them.
Exactly. What it's done is it's pushed Randall Grichuk, who was our 3-4 hitter last year. He's down to, like, 8, 7,
if
8.
even in the lineup, right, at some times.
Exactly.
Like, there could be points where he's not even cracking the starting lineup because – that's just how many bats and the way the matchups can go now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's interesting. It's good. It wasn't the only sign of the week. They also brought in Tyler Chatwood first, and then Kirby Yates. Chatwood's he's just a name. I mean, hopefully, maybe he can contribute some innings in the.
I think if he's anything kind of the way that Bass was, because like I think we lost Bass this year, so like that's kind of like the same, in out.
You're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle a little bit and be like, hey, maybe this kid can just eat up innings and do a good job of it.
Right.
And then Kirby Yates he's a bit of a lottery. Like, he was really good 2 years ago, but then he dealt with injury, bone chips in his elbow, I think it was last year.
I think after a couple of real bad starts, he went and got it looked at, and then had surgery.
this is a guy that was an all-star in 2019, and if he can get back to that, you're looking at a premier closer in the MLB on top of the bullpen that you already have.
And like, you don't truly need him to be exactly that. You just need him to contribute, and if you get to that, that's ceiling right there, right? Like that's as best as you're gonna get, and that's perfect.
If he's an above-average reliever, you're laughing because you already have Romano and Dolis at the back who's shown they can dominate in the MLB last year until Romano got hurt. But before that, like they were two dominant relievers, and Dolis had like a 1-point-something ERA last year.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah,
I mean, if they continue that, and then you bring in Kirby Yates, and then maybe you bring in a guy like Brad Hand, you now have 4 above-average relievers at the back end of the pen to do your work for you. If one guy's off,
which is something that we have not had in a very long time.
No. Like I think last year was the most confident I've been in the bullpen in a long time. And even then, it was kind of like, well, who knows with this bullpen? Maybe this is just a flash in the pan, right?
Like you're hoping, but like a lot of the time, you're kind of like, I want to believe it, but you're very hesitant for sure, right?
But you just don't know with that bullpen.
And now that you're seeing these names, I'm kind of getting more confident. And like for me, Yates was a really like not the exact same as getting Liam Hendricks, no doubt. But for me, it's less of a gamble. You're giving him less money. You're giving him less.
If he sucks, so what? It's $5.5 million.
Right. But Liam Hendricks has not been this level of good for that
his whole career. It's only been like 3-4 years tops.
Right. And since he's been like elite for a bullpen arm, it's been like 2.
Yeah. He's been the best reliever in baseball for 2 years. But it's one of those things with relievers, you never know, man. Like Andrew Miller was the best reliever we've ever seen for 2 seasons. Right. And then now what? He's like a middle reliever guy who doesn't really do much.
Yeah, he doesn't really get many looks, right? Like you can lose it just as fast as you get it in the MLB, right?
Relief pitchers are dime a dozen almost. Like it's tough to put $18 million at a guy when you can just sign a guy that's maybe not as elite, but you can get him for $5.5 million and still eat up innings and still do a similar job.
Yep.
I don't hate that move. I like it. I'm glad with it.
Yep.
That's pretty much. Do you have anything else on the Blue Jays before we get?
Not too. I think it's just kind of a waiting game. Yeah, I'm kind of like interested to see.
Anyone you're looking forward to potentially signing left?
Dude, I just want Trevor Bauer. Like, I don't really care.
That seems to be the thought process around the Blue Jays.
I just wanted him at the beginning. To be honest, if I had to rank my free agents, I would have taken Trevor Bauer at 1 always, and then, George Springer kind of fell a little later for me.
Yeah,
but
I didn't. Really
like I said, I'm very happy that we have him. Just it now kind of creates a bit of an awkward jam in the outfield.
Yep.
In the sense that like we had good talent, like not great talent, not his talent by any means. But there was some good talent out there, and now it just kind of creates a question mark. And now you look at the infield too. Like we kind of talked about it earlier in the week about third base, and I know that we have like very differing opinions on it, but it's just to me that to me is a huge glaring hole.
Obviously, there's a spot there you can fill. The thing we talked about it yesterday too. The thing with me here is that there's no hole in your lineup. Which is like, if you're trying to bring in a third baseman, who are you taking out of that lineup?
I understand that, and it would have to be. I think that's where more of the trade avenue comes in,
right?
In that sense, because you're then going to lose a piece to get a piece, and that's where the space comes from.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
I mean, back on your point of like we didn't really have the elite talent that like Springer brings. Like if you're looking at like what potential of these guys, like Lourdes has like similar 162 game average numbers, like, as Springer. Like they're almost like.
But he's got the injury. So.
Sure, if he stays healthy, it's a different story. But
which is why I'm also glad that Brantley's a good bat. Don't get me wrong, but to bring him in again, like that just kind of put the nail in the coffin for Gurriel as like you're going to be gone or you're going to need to figure out how to play third.
Yeah, I'd much rather Lourdes over Brantley. I'm happy that move.
Right, and like it just shows commitment to what you have within the organization, and that's something like that the Blue Jays really never had before. Right, we went through the era where they traded away players and got really good talent back, but we saw that crumble within like what we started losing pieces after the first year, and then second year it was pretty well like we made it there, but we were scratched, bruised, broken, and then third year it was gone.
Yeah, real quick. And if you're looking, so in comparison, Springer hits on an 162 game average, he'll have 35 homers, 93 RBIs. Hits, where's the average there? 270. Lourdes, on the other hand, 33 home runs, 93 RBIs, 287. So, like, their base numbers are, like, identical in what they can bring. Obviously, Springer brings a little more defense. But
Right.
Lourdes isn't a scrub in the outfield either, and he's got an absolute hoser arm. So, I mean, you have three guys, and if you bring Teoscar into that mix and what Teoscar was last year, Teoscar finished, top 5 in MVP voting last year, I think?
I think he was around, tops.
So you have 3 potential all-stars in your outfield and, potentially an MVP candidate in right field. That unbelievable star talent. And then Grichuk's no slouch either. This is a guy that can play defense, and he showed he can play center field last year. It's gonna be good.
Just they're gonna have to understand what the system is. Then you know what I mean. Like it's gonna be more situational batting, and they're not gonna get in every game.
No.
But I think in just professional athletes, they want to compete, right? So some of them find it incredibly tough to go, hey, we're gonna kind of do a rotation through everybody, and it's going to be a big team effort, and you're going to have to take.
You got to get the buy-in. That's the one.
Yeah, a bit of a diminished role, right? So
you got to get that Dodgers buy-in where everyone doesn't give a shit what they're doing; they just want to win the game.
Yeah. But I love having the problem of having too much talent as opposed to not enough talent.
Yeah, exactly. This is a luxury I love to have.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here going, shucks, we got way too many guys.
When have we kind of had this though? I can't when I look back, I don't think that we've had this amount of talent and depth in positions to the point now we're kind of going what does it look like? What does the lineup look like?
Even those 2015-16 teams where we were World Series potential team. I think we're better than what those teams were at our peak.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
Get everybody going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't have the MVP JD that we had. But outside of that, I think depth wise, this team is way deeper. It has a better bullpen.
Yes, and that to me is what's come alive in the World Series is your depth players.
Yeah,
if you look back on some of the biggest, if you look back on some of the biggest moments, it's
Brett
not your
Phillips
all-star.
last year, dude. Brett Phillips won them a game in extras because he just came off the bench and had the only hit of his life.
I remember the Cleveland Cubs series, Game 7. Rajay Davis.
Davis was clutching that whole playoff run for them.
Dude, Howie Kendrick for the National. It was it was depth players. It wasn't your all-stars, right? No. It was not your all-stars. It was your depth players that just came alive.
It's a full team effort if you want to win a World Series, and I think we have a more complete team than we did in 2015 and 16. I agree with you there. A little bit of sad news to move on to. Baseball lost 2 legends this week. First was Don Sutton, died at the age of 75. Obviously big. But then the bigger one came last night or today. I don't know when it hit. But Hank Aaron passed away at the age of 86. Obviously an absolute legend in the sport of baseball. Was the home run king before Barry Bonds passed him. Obviously he's not in our era. We never grew up watching Hank Aaron, but he's one of those names you just know of. And
and I've seen some of the highlights of some of the home runs.
Yeah.
And you have definitely some respect for the player as what they've done to the game, right? They've influenced probably some of the players that we've seen today.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. So Barry Bonds had a really big post about him and just the respect he had for him, and it's really cool to see legends like that talking about other guys. I'm trying to pull up that home run record he had held forever, man. Realistically, his playing career ended in 76. Barry Bonds broke the record in, what was that, 2003 or 4 or something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe a little later than that.
Which is also an interesting conversation too, right? When people talk about that and Barry Bonds and his career,
with the steroids and all that too, it's one of those things that's it took him that to beat what Hank Aaron did. And
does it count type of deal, right? That's what people say. You could have that debate all day with somebody. Is it legitimate, or does it come with an asterisk beside it? But Hank Aaron's it wouldn't.
2007 is when he did it. So we're talking 87 to 2007. That's 30 years that record held up for him.
That's amazing.
It's good for him.
It's an incredible record.
Sucks to see him go, obviously. You're going to hit this point now where all those legends from back in the day.
That's what you're noticing, right? Yeah, a lot of the big legend names are starting to go.
Especially with, everything that's going on, just kind of nobody's health is where it needs to be right now. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're locked up and not able to do anything, it's kind of you're going to just wither away a little bit, and it's tough to see.
Yeah, and it's incredibly hard, too, with what's going on in the world to actually get if you're just kind of normally sick, to get in to see anywhere or to something like that, right? So especially at that age, at 86, it could really affected him and not have been able to seek the proper attention, right?
Exactly.
Who knows, right? But it's definitely one of those times that that a lot of the big names that we've heard throughout baseball and all of sports are gonna be kind of going away from us and things like that. So.
No, I hear you. Sucks.
Tough.
Yeah, so that's tough. We'll move on to some more exciting stuff. Dude, exciting. The Bills. We're kind of like just.
You want to go to the Bills, or you want?
We're moving on to the Bills because it's quick, and I just want to chat about them for a second.
Yeah,
we're just low key becoming Bills fans on this podcast. Bills fans,
which I don't actually admit.
Bills fans.
I can't admit though because I'm a Patriots fan by heart, so you can't admit that you're
on
Bills,
the inside. Bills fans.
The beat for Bills. Let's do it.
Also, Bills Mafia, elite for what they did for Lamar Jackson and all that. Like the respect I have for their amount of respect, incredible, unbelievable. Thank you, Bills Mafia, for being one of the only good groups of NFL fans there are.
They don't just jump through tables and cause a ruckus.
They're not
everybody.
just idiots.
They care. There's big hearts there.
There's great people jumping through those tables.
They're not a mafia always, okay?
No, they're not a literal mafia.
They can be a charity too,
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. They're fun. It's going to be a really exciting game, I think.
Yeah, should be good. Especially with Mahomes not quite healthy, it should be even more even than you expect.
So he's actually I know that he's expected to play, but
come on.
What are you at? What percentage are you at?
That's what I mean. The concussion thing for me isn't even the biggest worry. It's whatever the hell was going on with his leg. He looked terrible after he tweaked his leg there and was hobbling off the field and doing all that. I think
it was his toe or something. Yeah, he's really
great.
bummed something. And also to me, the concussion, you might not feel the symptoms right away and stuff like that. So he's a very intelligent player.
Yeah.
Very
Once he's fired up, it's going to be very different.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the story of him when he first got to Kansas City? And he walked into one of the first ever tapes, to go watch tapes with the coach.
I don't think so.
And so he's in there and he doesn't bring his playbook out. He just walks in empty-handed.
Right.
And they're where's your playbook? Yeah. And he just looks at them. He says, "Oh, I've got them memorized." And they're like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know that." He was like, "I know the proper offense to run to the defense." And they started quizzing him, and apparently he just started nailing him off. He is an intelligent. Not on day one, but one of the first times I think watching tapes in the Kansas City organization.
That's fucked.
He is smart, man. I don't know how he flew under so many people's radar. I get it, he went to Texas Tech, not a huge program, but you could see the talent there.
Yeah, dude, he's going to be the best quarterback in NFL history, and I stand by that.
And I think all the records that everybody kind of looked at as oh, these are going to be untouchable. Because I remember once upon a time it was the only name that they consider was Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck was supposed to be the one that could potentially touch the Peyton Manning, the Tom Brady record.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden he came along, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't just good at some point in his career. He was good at the beginning of his career.
Yeah, he's been great his whole career. His rookie season, he was dominating, and then he came out the next year and won MVP, and then it just
threw ridiculous amount of touchdowns. Still does it.
He's making $500 million at the age of 23, 24. How old? He's up my age, right?
I think maybe.
Insane, man. That's the guy's nuts. He's an incredible talent. Mm-hmm. He's one of the best we've ever seen, and he could go down as the greatest quarterback that's ever played this game. But he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You can't I don't care that he's playing. He's hurt.
And I think the Bills definitely recognize that, and you're going to see a lot more pressure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is a Bills team that is on a mission right now, and they look like it. Their defense is firing, their offense is firing. Josh Allen looks the best he's ever looked. And
oh man, he finds his receivers, even if it's just Diggs. That having that connection has just made it so much easier for him.
Yeah.
And I've looked into actually what kind of elevated his game a bit, and they said his release is that much quicker.
He worked on it. Apparently, he spent a lot of time. I don't know if we mentioned it in the last podcast, but he went through a ton of time working on his mechanics and figuring everything out.
So, just when you have that too, that you have a way better release now, and you can just kind of snap it in there. It's ridiculous.
Just sling it. This is a guy
they don't even need a run game.
No, this is a guy that couldn't connect on a pass last year. His completion percentage was terrible. Now he's up to the 4th best in the NFL.
And he runs. He's not afraid to take the ball and run it. And that's what I don't think enough defenses give him the credit for. That he can take the ball and burn off a 30-yard run if you give him the space. He's not afraid of contact.
Mm-hmm.
If they're in the goal line, he'll die for it. He doesn't care. He'll run behind the line. It doesn't matter, man.
No,
Having that
he'll
in your
Superman
arsenal,
the hell out of the thing, and he doesn't care.
and to have that ability is just makes him that much better.
Awesome. Good for him. Now,
Mhm.
we can't go this far without talking about the reason why Kansas City's actually in the next round.
Oh my god.
As a Browns fan, I'm not happy. But
as a sports fan, I'm not happy.
So basically, if you didn't catch the game, who was it? It wasn't Peoples-Jones. It was Rashard Higgins. Baker slings one to Rashard Higgins down deep. Guy makes the catch, and he goes for the end zone, and he gets, first of all, it was helmet-to-helmet contact. The guy just went straight with his helmet, which is already not – it's already a blown call.
Mm-hmm.
And they missed that. Rashard Higgins fumbles the ball when he gets hit, but he fumbles it into the end zone, and it goes out. So by NFL rule, that's a touchback, and the other team gets the ball on the 20. I understand that it's the rule, and I get that they made the right call on that rule. But you can't look at me and tell me that's not the stupidest fucking rule in football.
Why is that the rule?
I don't know. Why is it that because I fumbled on the 1 yard line, the other team gets the ball? But if I fumble anywhere else, it's fine as long as the ball goes out.
So if I fumble to the right on the 1 yard line, it's my ball.
If you fumbled this way, like if you just threw the ball to your right, you're fine. But if you fumble it forward into the end zone trying to get a touchdown and it goes out, it's the other team's ball at the 20.
This kind of feels like when the World Juniors used to be decided by a shootout.
Yeah.
Like you just feel like really right. You just feel really cheated when that happens. Like when you see it happen, you just feel like really burned in the game. Like I didn't like it at all.
Especially the way the rest of that game went. Like the Browns dominated the rest of the game.
There's no difference.
They could have won that game if Rashard Higgins punches that in and the Chiefs don't get the ball back.
But there's absolutely no difference from the ball going out at the 1 yard line to the end zone or to the back. Now, like if the defense recovers it, absolutely, that's a touchback. Like
sure,
NFL,
for sure,
awesome,
for sure. They got the ball. It's theirs. There wasn't even a defender in the area other than the guy that hit Higgins. Nobody's there. The closest guy's a Brown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not here saying give him the ball back at the 1 because that's where he fumbled it. Like give him a 15-yard penalty. Sure, that's fine. But don't give away the ball because they fumbled it in.
Why though? Like he fumbled it there. Like just fucking give it back to him where he last had possession, right? If he makes a football play and he moves it,
there,
and he fumbles it and it goes out, what do? They go at the spot of the ball. You can't go in the end zone. You can't give a team the goal, so you go back a yard.
It's like where he had it last. It's like the other rule where like if you fumble it, it's only like within a certain amount of time. But like if you fumble it, someone else can't push it into the end zone or something, like someone else can't pick it up, it goes back to where the guy fumbled it. It should be similar to that rule in the sense where like if you fumbled it and it goes out of bounds in the end zone, it goes back to where you fumble it because that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's first down and you give it to the other team because he fumbled it into the end zone because of a helmet-to-helmet hit. Like that's
so dumb. And that I think
that play.
I'm pretty like I don't understand why that's not reviewable. You're now looking at this clip. You're now reviewing it. You're seeing it blatantly. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to tell me that these refs who do overturn calls and these coaches who can challenge plays, why is it that, some plays you just can't challenge, especially the safety of your players. The safety of your players, you can't challenge that play.
Yep.
You can't challenge that we missed something.
Yeah.
Like that makes absolutely no sense that you can't challenge something that the refs missed. I'm pretty sure in the CFL, you can challenge pretty much everything. I'm almost positive.
If you're the NFL right now, you can
or things like that. Like you can challenge that there was pass interference on the play that was missed. So I'm pretty sure you can challenge that there was.
They put that in the NFL too, and they decided that's no longer a thing.
But just why? What makes it that not okay?
I don't
just
know.
This invisible wall that you've decided to put up. Good job, Goodell.
I don't know. And if you're the NFL, don't talk to me about player safety anymore. You don't care. You don't care. Don't tell me you're protecting quarterbacks. Don't tell me you care about player safety because if you're not going to review that for helmet to helmet, fuck off. Because
there's a dime a dozen players. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to find one.
Who's
you don't care about players. Right.
No.
You don't care about the players.
No.
It doesn't matter.
And I don't know if this is just me feeling this, but it feels like this whole thing just got brushed under the rug a little bit because it's Patrick Mahomes on the other side. And it's just like, you know what? It was a really bad call and it was a really bad rule, but we're going to forget about it.
Yeah, a lot of the things you saw were about his concussion.
Yeah,
and
I have
him
like
being able to play and like, which is to
that
me like
story died quick.
the weirdest part is that hit looked very innocent.
Yeah, no, there was no malintent.
It wasn't
there,
like a real it wasn't like a real like charge to the head or like
no.
the helmet to helmet collision as we're talking about. Like it was just like a just the way he kind of landed. It looked
it's just
like
an awkward play where he kind of just falls and clunks his head. Like there's nothing you can do to protect him there. It's his own decision to go running with the ball. It just he fell awkwardly. But it's just the fact that like the whole rule and the helmet to helmet just got brushed under the rug within a day, and now it's just like, yay, Patrick Mahomes. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that Mahomes is such a star that we want to just kind of push every other team away.
Yeah, I definitely not in support of that.
Colin Cowherd had the stupidest comment. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. They're like, the NFL should push this game until Patrick Mahomes is ready to play. It's like, fuck right off. If you're going to start doing that, then the whole season should have been pushed because Dak Prescott went down. Dak Prescott changed the entire season. Like,
I'm sorry, the Denver Broncos lost all 3 of their quarterbacks and
didn't even push a game. Like, I understand it's the playoffs, but sorry, man, your guy got hurt.
You're playing.
The Eagles had to play an entire playoff without Carson Wentz on his near MVP season because he went down. Like, come on.
That is the absolute
That's the
worst
dumbest take I've ever heard.
Ever.
Like, I don't understand why everybody just coddles Patrick Mahomes and like just pushes
to
his needs and stuff. I hate it.
He's the golden boy.
So stupid.
You know he is. He's the golden boy.
Yeah. What do we got?
He's
do you think Major Tom can pull it off?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I think
always, man. This is like I love it.
This is a great quarterback battle.
Who better to be the first team, like to quarterback the first team to play in their home arena for the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Oh.
There's nobody better.
With no fans.
Hang on. There are fans. You didn't hear about that. So
No.
he donated. Roger Goodell donated $7,500.
Oh, to like the first frontline workers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be people in there.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna have a full rock stadium,
that.
but they'll have a stadium and they'll bounce noise in there and stuff like that. But
it'll be interesting. I hope he pulls it off. I kind of want to see that team make a run. I just don't like the Packers, but it'd be good.
No, like this week they don't have AB.
Yeah.
So Antonio Brown's out, but even still, like we talked about last week,
they're so deep.
They're so deep. So like I'm confident.
They're so deep. I'm not that worried.
Yeah.
Are we done with football? I think we're good, right? Nothing else.
We're done with football. There's nothing else.
No.
Football's
Obviously, we're going to talk about our sport a little bit here. The Leafs have had an interesting week.
Did we make up a sport? Did we make up a sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. No, that was already made.
The Leafs have had an interesting. They've had an interesting week. It started with the Jets, and Neil Pionk trying to be a man, taking out a guy that's 160 pounds and couldn't do it. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Jim yell at him too.
Yeah, the look Marner gives him after, I'm like, that's hilarious. And then Scheifele being a big bitch about it. Oh,
yeah. I want to hear the clip.
Oh,
you know what? I don't even think Scheifele. I'm trying to remember who it was that I heard, but even they were saying like, "Oh, that's not part of Marner's game. That shouldn't be there. That's ridiculous." Like, fuck it.
Get out of here.
This is what you want. Man. This is what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
you're playing the same team 9 to 10 times.
Mitch Marner. We've already mentioned that, and like it's gonna be a battle all year long.
Game 1.
Mitch Marner had every right in the world to do what he did.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you take like 8 strides from the blue line to try and take out a guy who's trying to hit an empty net instead of going for make a play on the puck and maybe you stop that and have a chance to win the game. But no, he tries to take out 160-pound Mitch Marner because this guy's a physical threat and we're going to try and knock him out. And then he looks embarrassed because he couldn't even knock him down in shooting.
He's just laying on the ice.
Take a walk, dude.
Just licking snow.
Embarrassing if you're Neil Pionk. Embarrassing. And then even more embarrassing if you're Mark Scheifele coming in to defend the idiot that just did it. Like,
I mean, I guess I understand
you
got to stick up for your teammate, but that was.
I like Mark Scheifele. I think he's a great player. Yeah. I think he's a great person.
But
come on, dude. Don't be learn the situation. You saw what your guy just did. He deserved every bit of that. You don't need to go protect him. He's the idiot that tried to do it. Stupid. Just stupid. But the rest of the Leafs week has been yikes. They played fine. I have nothing wrong with the way they played so far. They look good in that Edmonton game defensively.
Wasn't that Edmonton game a little weird, though? Like, didn't you expect a little more, like, fireworks and like, goals?
Leafs Nation, I have bones to pick because everyone for years was like, "Oh, the Leafs have no defense. The Leafs can't play defense. They got nothing back there. They're gonna get beat because they can't play defense." They went out and played a perfect game defensively.
Yeah.
Perfect. And everyone's talking about how boring the game was. It's like, man, what do you want?
There's no pleasing. I bet you if they
Oh,
won 3-1, everyone would be like, "Oh my gosh, their
God.
defense was just incredible." Like
Leafs
they
fans
lost
are the
2-1.
worst. They're the worst.
Like if you get an empty net goal, you lose 2-1. You've already given up your defense. You're like,
Yes.
we're trying to get a goal here. So
Yeah, whatever. They lost 2-1. You're right. The Leafs fans worst by far. We're talking about a fan base that 5 days ago was crying and bitching about how Jason Spezza got placed on waivers because it's so disrespectful and that's a brutal move for Jason Spezza, blah, blah, blah. And then
By the
Jason
way-
Spezza misses an empty net and we're turning right around on Jason Spezza.
but perfect move by him. I'm gonna retire if you play me.
Oh, dude.
Love it.
Just
Love it.
big dick energy, slaps it on the table. He's like, I'm not going anywhere.
You take me, I'll retire. You can cut me. That's fine. I'll just sign back with them after you cut me.
Yeah,
like
that's
so.
so
Realistically,
awesome.
let's just not do this.
So awesome. I loved it.
Don't you love to get to that age? That's like it's funny because like people talk about their retirement age and how they're like, no, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'll bring this and do that and show up late. And then Jason Spezza's like, I just won't show up to the team that's gonna now employ
I'm
me.
not going there. I'm staying in Toronto. Go away. Don't claim me. That was great. I mean, Aaron Dell got claimed, but whatever. That's not a big deal.
We kind of knew that would happen though.
But
like,
then
dude,
you look at Leafs Nation. Sorry, you look at Leafs Nation. They're bitching about the fact that Jason Spezza missed the open net, and they're like, "Oh, he should retire." It's like, what the fuck? Last week we didn't want to lose this guy.
I know people miss open nets. It happens.
God, it happens. It happens. Oh my God!
Like we're still third? I think we're still
They're
third.
still tied for first for points.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
3 teams at the top of the list with 6. You know?
Montreal's got 8. Yeah.
They had 6 before last night. They have
Isn't
8
that
points.
nuts?
Yeah, it's
Isn't that nuts?
It's early.
I know it's early. Montreal.
They're riding an absolute heater. Tyler Toffoli's not that good.
No.
Tyler Toffoli now leads the league in goals.
Right. So this is the time though where like all the players that work hard are gonna have their moment.
Yep.
And then you're gonna see the changeover to talent, and then the talent's gonna have their moment.
With the schedule the way it is, I don't think Montreal can hold that up. But we'll see.
It's a lot to ask. You know what though? Like, does Carey Price ever look overworked?
He looked bad last game.
Okay, I get that, but does he? And yet they still lost in overtime, or they won.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, eventually, you're not going to be able to do that.
They got the point, but I get that. But like, does he ever look actually that overworked?
No, not really. He's just so relaxed in there. Back on the team that matters. I think obviously tonight they've lost Jumbo Joe and Matthews for tonight's game for sure. But the depth is not there now. It's like I like the depth that this forward group had, but now when you take out 2 options that could have been centermen, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, you're also taking out your goal scorer from last game.
Yep.
So.
Yep, one of the best goal scorers in the league. I'm hoping it's not a long-term thing. Apparently, it's only short-term, so it should be fine. No idea what's going on with Jumbo.
Okay.
That's a little.
I'm gonna take my mic with me and see if I can turn on some lights here because it's getting dark.
It is getting a little dark. You're right.
Forgot about that whole darkness. Hello,
nighttime
darkness,
does come a little earlier now.
Yeah, is that all right? Does that work a little better?
That's good.
All right, cool.
So
for those of you who are listening to us, I just had to turn on my light.
My apologies.
Show a little more of this face.
No idea what's going on with Jumbo. Obviously, like that could be worrisome, could be long term. You don't know.
I thought it was 1 month-ish.
Well, that's what I mean. It's an ish thing right now. Like we're not really sure what's going on. Obviously, you've already lost Nick Robertson too, so it's putting you in a bit of a bind. But it's the Oilers, and like I know the Oilers can score, but you're telling me with what they have left, they can't come out and score some goals against the Oilers?
No, I hope that they can, and I definitely hope that they can take advantage of the goalie situation there. I'm like, no one's ever stalled in the goalie situation, right?
Only Mikko Koskinen, and that's it. I
feel
so bad for them for that.
But there's still high-level talent on this team, right? Like, and now Zach Hyman's gonna have no more split lines. He's just I'm on line one.
He's gonna be with Johnny and Nylander, and you're gonna have to see VC step up because he's now on that line with the.
So Marner. Who's Marner with then? I guess would be
Kerfoot and VC. It's not great.
And then what? Spezza comes in.
They haven't actually announced. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. unless they do some wild shit. But
they still have Pierre Engvall. Is he still kicking
just
around?
got recalled for this game. Him and Adam Brooks are spotting in somewhere. I hate it. He's so bad.
Oh, that kind of hurts.
He's fucking
pretty sure at one point you said I skate like him. So
I know, but he can't shoot.
He's
a great skater.
I'm a hard guy.
You guys do look a lot alike on the ice. It's just this
real big hard guy. I'll get all over the ice.
Tall, long-limbed dude flowing around with the baby giraffe style skating.
I love it. I'll get around there. I surprise people too because I just get around the ice. I remember that tournament, that like the only tournament that we've ever played in.
Mm-hmm.
I just like came all the way back on one shift. Like that dude had no idea. He was like, "Oh, I think I got like a 2-on-1," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm just coming in hot." And I used all my limbs.
The thing with Pierre Engvall is that he has the Ilya Mikheyev disease, where he's really good at hitting the goalie in the crest right here, and they're both elite at it. If you were doing target practices in the center of the net, Ilya Mikheyev and Pierre Engvall would crunch that target 15 times out of 15 because they cannot hit anywhere but the center of the goalie's chest. It's insane. It's the most frustrating thing to watch Ilya Mikheyev play because he's so fast and he's really good at getting the puck. But when he has the puck, he looks like he's never seen it before in his life because it's like chop, chop, chop to get down the ice. And then he just slings it into the crest every time. I hate it. And people are trying to tell me he should be on the second and first line. Ugh.
No. To calm you down a little bit, did I hear correctly that Rasmus Sandin is going to get some playing time tonight?
I don't think so, but
no.
I know he was practicing with Bogosian, so maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. So I thought maybe
the practice lines were Bogosian and Sandin, and then Lettinen and Dermott. But I heard Lettinen got sent down, off the main roster. So I don't think they'll be putting Sandin in. I doubt it.
Okay, I might have heard him on the practice squad.
Yeah,
but why not?
I think they should give him a chance in a heart. I think it should be Lettinen and Sandin in there somewhere over
right now. You need to at least like intimidate them a little bit, right? You don't have Matthews, so why not throw them something that they just haven't seen and see what these kids can do?
A little bit more offense from your defense would be cool.
Right.
I don't disagree with it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that one. So, really ugly transition. Jake Voracek, dude. What he said, I loved it. This is a full week ago now, because it's been a while. What he said to the reporter, I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. Because, if you're a reporter, you say whatever you want. Nobody's ever going to do anything. You just keep on reporting. Yeah. They don't have a choice.
And I heard he rags on a lot. I've heard he's I heard him pretty much. No.
But he threw down the gauntlet. He's like, buddy, I don't give a shit about you. And it's like, thank you, Jake Voracek, for finally putting some type of reporter in line. Like, we have guys like Steve Simmons in Toronto who says whatever the fuck he wants, and nothing happens. The only thing that happened was Matthews last year when he gave him that stupid answer. But that's it.
But that's not the same.
No. It was just like, man, I didn't appreciate that. Okay.
When I heard that, I heard it, and then I laughed. And what made me laugh even more was he still answers the question.
Barely.
And then he just keeps going, but he keeps going on.
I don't even know why I answered that. You're such a weasel.
Because you're fucking shit questions. You just make up. No, he says you make up fucking shit.
You're going to say whatever the fuck you want anyway. Whatever it was. It's like, yes, Jay. Thank you. Thank you.
When did reporters become untouchable, though? And why go up to him and say, okay, maybe I understand the swearing.
Yeah.
But, who cares?
But he's an adult.
Right. He's defending himself. Good job.
I love it. I love every part of it. I think I have zero problem with what Jake did. It was great. Someone needs to hold these people accountable for what they say. You can't just go out there and Wild West everything. It's not.
That's gonna hype up that Philly squad. I hope too. I'd be buzzing in that changer.
They have not been good since, but
no, but still.
But hey, it was.
They're still first. They're still first in that division, so it doesn't matter.
Yep, they're just. Carter Hart needs a bit of a tweak. He's
but
hey, they'll be fine. I'm not worried.
He's young. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Let me see the last couple of games.
He let in 5 the one, 4 the other.
Yeah, right. But
he won 47 shots last night, though, so it's a little different.
Yeah,
that's brutal. They need to figure.
And a shootout loss, was it not?
And then Brian Elliott had to make a 40-save shutout to win the other game. So
against the Sabres.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little worrisome. Moving on. One of the biggest stories in the NHL right now has been Pierre-Luc Dubois, and it's clear that he wanted out. Everyone knows that. last night he played 3 minutes and 44 seconds of ice time, and didn't see a single shift in the second or third period.
Took credit for it though. Actually, like big move on him to come out and say, "Look, I take responsibility." Yeah, he like actually recently, I think before we came on the pod, he came out and he said, "Look, that's on me. Like I'm the player here."
He was lazy as shit. Did you see the video of his last shift?
Yeah, and it's lazy. This kind of reminds me of the Jonathan Drouin situation, where you could see that it wasn't going to work out right away, and he kind of said, "Look, I want out of here, and I'm tired of this athletes controlling the league mentality. Like the NBA pisses me off so much because if you want out of a team, you're gone. See you later." Like
I can't do that in any other job. I can't.
Can I go to my job and say, "Hey, look, man, I really like it here, but I think I want to move up to this." Like,
I'd rather be working over in California because it's nicer there. So I'm not going to work for you, but you're going to pay me.
Yeah,
I'm going to do half my job. Can you just? Yeah. I'm going to keep doing that until you send me to California, if you don't mind.
And can you actually retain some of my salary too when
when you ship me off to somewhere else? Can you continue to pay me?
It frustrates the shit out of me.
I agree with that. That's annoying.
So like I'm so happy that they're not jumping on anything right away. No, and they're really treating him like they should. I would not be surprised. I know that he can't get sent down the same way that Drouin got sent down because he signed that extra. Like he doesn't have a 2-way contract anymore. I don't believe so.
It's
you lose him, but
it's not the right coach you want to do that to either.
No, like Torts is a very honest individual. Like if you give him one thing, he is direct with you, and
he's not afraid to let you know.
No, and like just I'm sorry, man, but like toughen the fuck up. Like this is an incredible coach, okay, who's been on some incredible teams that he has not gotten the credit for because they just haven't put it all together. But like he runs a really good system, and he sees he sees the game really well, and everybody loves him. Everybody loves his little sound clips. Reporters again.
I don't.
You hate him?
I
fucking love him. I love what he says. I love his honesty, though.
I hate him. I don't like the way he goes about things. Like I don't like that.
I'm loving him.
He feels like he's above everything, and I don't like that.
He knows that he's above all the players. It's your coach, man. That's exactly who he's running it.
Sure.
This is my team.
Sure.
It's definitely a coach that you don't go up against and do that kind of shit too, right? Like be lazy, getting back, or just like coming out and saying I want off this team. And for me, you can't like come out and say, "Hey, I want off this team, but don't let this distract our season." Like then don't say anything.
Yep. No.
Don't make it public then. Don't like actually have it leak out that you are frustrated and want to trade.
Yeah. He hasn't even really said why. He's never really brought out why he doesn't want to be there.
What's honestly wrong with that team? I understand that they've lost some really key players that were part of that franchise for a while, but they've also kept some incredible individuals there. Like Seth Jones, trading for him was one of the best moves they made. Like Ryan Johansson straight up for Seth Jones, ridiculous.
Steal of a deal now.
Yeah. And then you have Zach Werenski, who's unreal. Loved his fight against Larkin. That's hilarious because they are college teammates.
Funny story. They were good friends, kids. They were childhood friends.
Larkin bought the tickets for Werenski's parents to go to the game.
That's actually a really good story too, because they can't go to the away games because you can't get tickets for your family for away games, but because they're from Detroit, Larkin came in and got her tickets. Awesome, so cool. And then they get in a scrap in the game. That's
but if you look at it, man, like I watched it and I was like, hey, how did they what kind of happened? So the way that they go in is like Larkin's just trying to push his way into the net, and his visor actually goes down on his head. Yep. And I don't know if that's Werenski pushing it down or just like a result of kind of rubbing each other. And then when he took a breath, it fogs him up. So he just grabs and lets the gloves go. And Werenski's like, I'm not going to take a punch, so I'm going to let go too. So they start going. And then when they get to the boards, I think Larkin kind of caught a piece of who it was. And just it's just like this. Because you can see Zach kind of whispers something to him.
Yeah.
And no, but it was all in good fun. That's what you love to see. That's some good shit for me.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, like going back, Columbus has just been able to keep some pretty okay talent there, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to stay in that organization, because they've shown that if you want to buy into the system, they'll pay you.
I think it's got a lot to do with Torts.
Possibly, absolutely. Not
He's a
everybody
guy
can
that,
do
like,
that game.
I wouldn't want to deal with him as a coach.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a coach I'd want to play for. But obviously,
I
there's
just
people that agree with him. But I feel like there's a strong chance that there's guys that don't. And you've seen it with guys like Panarin didn't want to come back. Duchesne didn't want to come back. Bob didn't want to come back.
okay, but
Maybe there's a little bit
how
more
long
to
has
that.
Nick Foligno been there? How long has Brendan
No, that's what I
Dubinsky
mean.
been
There's
there?
definitely guys that can take that. Those guys are they got head like
David
rocks. They're not-
Savard, man. Like, there's players that do go
all those
there.
hard-headed idiots that stayed around. Yeah, they do still want to be there because they love that. But like the guys that are actually talented that do their job really well and don't really like to take that kind of shit because they're better than most.
Dog, no pressure, no diamonds. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
No pressure, no diamonds.
Maybe.
Some of the best coaches are the most serious, the most intense.
Maybe. We'll see.
Ever seen Whiplash? Come on, I know you've seen Whiplash. We've talked
I have
about
seen
it.
Whiplash. That is nuts.
That's the kind of pressure I want. I don't know. I guess I understand it. That's the way I've always seen sports. Is like I kind of want to be pushed as far as I can.
It depends. There's definitely ways to push people without being what Tortorella is, and it's interesting. Like a lot of people won't respond to that.
I don't know, man. You're a professional athlete.
One of them.
You get paid millions.
I get that, but there's a lot of other coaches that don't do that. That make like John Cooper is not that guy, and he just won a Stanley Cup, right?
Okay, I get that as well, but they're a pretty talented fucking team.
Sure, but he brings out the best in them every single night, and it's just
for sure.
There's definitely different ways to do it, and I understand why Pierre-Luc Dubois wouldn't want to play for that man. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, fair.
Do you want to talk about McGregor? Are you interested in enough to talk about it?
I can talk about McGregor.
All right. It's gonna be cool. I like that he's coming back. I don't like that he keeps retiring, but it should be a good fight. It wasn't.
Doesn't mean shit to me anymore in UFC. If you retire, that just means you're not agreeing to the rest of your contract. That's all that says.
Taking time off is what it is. I'm taking a vacation. I need to get my head straight.
Yeah.
I think it should be better than their first fight where it didn't even go one round. Dustin Poirier is a way better fighter now than he was back then.
But I've expected that out of Jose Aldo and watched him get popped within second.
Right.
It's just McGregor has that ability if you underestimate him, which a lot of people kind of are.
Shouldered in the head for a loss in 12 seconds.
Just McGregor is no joke, but I don't know if how recent this was, but I saw a video of Khabib talking to somebody and he's going Tony Ferguson, interim champ, Conor McGregor number 2. He goes, but they'll never be number 1. He goes, I'm always number 1. And he just kept saying it. He goes, I'm number 1, they're 2, they're 2.
He's trying.
And it's so funny.
He's trying. He never fought anyone.
Because he retired, eh? You're upset.
If he doesn't come back, you can't tell me he's the GOAT.
I never said he's the GOAT. I'm just saying what he's saying. He's just that
he
arrogant
thinks he's the
Russian.
GOAT. He thinks he's the GOAT. It's embarrassing. I hate it.
Okay, but I'm sure Brock Lesnar thinks he's the GOAT. He fought fucking absolutely nobody. He fought a decrepit Randy Couture, and barely won that.
He got suspended because
it's a cheat. It's a cheat to be Randy Couture. Fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Didn't he lose to Frank Mir? Almost lost to Shane Carwin before he one punched him, but. Yeah, almost got his head taken off there. I remember that. It was just so dumb.
It's interesting.
It doesn't matter who you face. You're the champ, and that's that.
Yeah.
Who did John Jones really, really face to get up there? I feel like it's one big.
We went through this on the other podcast one time. Yeah. He's had some names. He's fought to get to in comparison to what Khabib fought. Khabib has fought nobody. He's fought 2 guys that are top 10 all time, and that's about it. John Jones has fought 8 or 9.
There's just more dudes that walk around at 205 and want to fight.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Right. That's what I would
Khabib just has.
That would be the closest one.
Khabib fought 3 guys and left. That's the only thing for me. It's just his way up to the championship wasn't really that tough. It took a long time, but it wasn't very hard. And then he fought 3 guys and left, and he didn't fight them twice.
So then it's complete shit for everyone who's had double championships because they worked their way up one ladder and just jumped over the other one. None of those people count then unless they actually went up the ranks.
No. I mean, they did go up 1 rank and they just.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can just jump over that. Oh, I gain more weight. I get the top guy. What about all the people in that division who are trying to fight their way up?
I don't disagree with that. That's fair.
Or at least have a fight to get in the fight,
Yeah,
Prove you can
yeah,
hang in that division and then go to the fight.
yeah. No, I agree with that.
But no, this week I don't know who else is on the card. I haven't really looked into it, but I'll do a little quick peek now. I think that's pretty much like the biggest names out there, right, for this fight.
Yeah, I don't really know the rest of the card. I haven't really taken a look at it yet, but
I think Dan Hooker, is that his name? I've seen him fight a couple times. He's a pretty hard hitter from what I remember. If I'm thinking of the right guy. The women's strawweight. Oh my goodness, that's like they just throw. I could not.
it'll be fun. It's gonna be a good card. I really hope Dana White doesn't crack too hard on the streaming like he said he would, but we'll see. Do you want to talk about basketball?
We're playing back. Do you want to talk about basketball?
I got nothing to say. I think the Raptors are what they are, and I don't think we're not gonna be that great this year, but that's fine.
No,
They're not.
I didn't expect to be that great. I wanted a 5th to 7th seed. I didn't want to be sneaking in the 8th, but if that's the case, then that's the case. But
my dad and I had this conversation. It's like they don't have shooters, so when you get down big numbers, there's no coming back because you're not posting big numbers back on the other end.
So my dad and I have had this conversation because Matt Thomas came over from
that's
I think it was the Australia Football League Basketball League.
Mm-hmm.
So playing Aussie rules football. Just got that on my mind. That's a great sport, by the way. Now that I'm mentioning it, I love that sport. But yeah, so he came over. He had a better percentage than Steph Curry.
Yeah, no, he's a shooter, and they just don't play him. I don't get it. I don't really understand.
And I don't know. I think that ties a little bit into how small we've become now. Like at the beginning, you're really seeing a healthy mix of Aaron Baines, Alex Len, and then now one's gone and one is just sitting gone. Yeah. Sitting on the bench, just stacked in there, right? You're seeing more Chris Boucher.
Boucher's been great, though. I'll give him that.
Absolutely, but I think that's kind of what has to go with it. And then it's you have some scoring there, I guess, in Pascal and
when it comes down to it, who do you want taking 3-point shots right now?
Oh, I want Matt Thomas all day.
That's what I mean. I have more faith in Matt Thomas than anybody that plays down the stretch when you're down 10 points. Like you're looking at the roster against the Heat, and they were down 8 or 9 or 10 at one point, and you've got Freddie out there who's real inconsistent with his 3-point shot. Kyle who's inconsistent with his threes. I don't trust Pascal to take threes, and it was Baines and who was the other? I don't even remember who.
Nobody's a confident and incredible 3-point shooter.
No, I would take Matt Thomas in there and try to get him ISO looks for 3 all day, and then maybe that's the only way you're going to put up crooked numbers if you start hitting 3-point shots consistently, and they don't have anybody that can do it right now.
Yeah, and especially having Baines out there gives you that rebounding ability, and something with the 3, that ball is going to go a lot higher. You're going to get a bigger bounce off it. So you're just and you have a center that can read that, right? He's a big rebound guy, so. Yeah. I think, Matt Thomas should be seeing more time, but then again, I'm not Nick Nurse, and I haven't won a championship my first season. So
you're right. And then won Coach of the Year the next year. So he's obviously smarter than we are, but I just don't like it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. No, I can agree with that. Stanley Johnson looks pretty okay, but I wanted more out of him last year.
Yeah, the Nets aren't winning the championship this year. I'm confident in saying it.
I don't want to say that because
I'm confident. You don't lose to the Cavs like that in
did you watch that game?
Yeah, not the point.
The Cavs are making.
If you have this super team, you can't be losing to the Cavs.
They were making the stupidest shots I've ever seen. Rainbow threes.
Yeah.
These weird floaters. Sexton just refused to miss.
Yeah, that's true.
He was "I'll just give me the ball," especially in the overtime.
But
in that overtime, he lights out.
You see the flaws in what Brooklyn is. They can't play defense. And we've discussed this.
So this is the thing, though. They got a little glimpse of life without Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And you ran a pretty fucking ridiculous team without him.
2 of them, yeah. The 2 of them aren't, incredible on defense in KD and Harden. But when you add a third guy in that's not very good on defense, that's 3/5 of your and
you trade away your best interior defender in Jared Allen.
Now you have to run DeAndre Jordan.
Right, who apparently just misses defense altogether. I don't know where he is. He doesn't help on much, which is weird because that wasn't a part of his game before.
No, it's
He's almost so
worrisome.
offensively minded that he forgets to go back on defense too far. You know what I mean? Like he wants to be in the lob so much that he just forgets that there's a whole other side of it. But I kind of looked around. I perused at some teams that might, be interested in like a Kyrie.
Yeah,
And there's some names where you could get
possible.
some depth.
If they're committed to moving on and just going with the two of them and getting assets back.
But that kind of works. Like that's really all you need right now. Like where is it that it's 3? Where is it that it's like a complete 3-man team, like just 3 all-stars? Like there's
the Lakers don't have it.
No.
The Clippers definitely.
Lakers have 2. Clippers have 2.
Even
the Suns have 2.
The Celtics do have like 4 or 5 guys that can get it done.
But they don't like proven all-stars, legitimate all-stars.
They're not the super team look. Like they have 4 really good players.
But the first name would be Tatum, and then after that, it's like they're ridiculous. They're good. They're young.
Kemba's pretty good.
But he's not all-star level Kemba anymore. He's had way better seasons.
Well, I mean, he's been hurt this year, but
right, absolutely. But I mean, like last year.
Yeah, I think they're all like great players, but they're not elite players. Is what it is in Boston. But they're a good team. I think they can definitely give Brooklyn. I think they give Brooklyn a run for their money just because they're just more complete and they can play defense.
But I remember one thing that worked well for like Golden State was their 1-2-3 was like pretty much similar to the Bulls 1-2-3, where it was we got guys that can score. We have a really good 1. We have a complimentary 2 that doesn't care that he's 2 because he's just going to play the hardest he can. And then your 3 is a tenacious, rebounding, grinding guy down low.
Even Clay in that mix was like incredible defender. Like it's not like he was just like he's one of the best shooters in the league, but he can play defense.
Literally, like Steve Kerr mimicked the team that he was on.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the formula and he goes, "This works," and then he did it.
Yeah.
And they drafted it, and he like that's the craziest thing was they drafted that team to get those 3 players, and then you have the addition of Kevin Durant for a year.
Yeah, 2 years.
Where he was injured.
Yeah,
pretty much, one of them. So
they were built perfectly, and like that's the big 3 that worked too. Like they were complete players. They didn't have these 3 offensive studs. Same with like Miami. Like LeBron is one of the most complete players there's ever been. Yeah. And then Dwayne Wade's no scrub. And Chris Bosh is really good defensively, and like he could still score, but he was good defensively.
Chris Bosh had a really good mid-range game that nobody respected, and that's where he got. And he came to the pick and roll too. He came to I'm the 3rd man option, and I'm going to keep going with that. And that's why they had success.
They weren't all out there for the sole purpose of putting up 40 points, and I feel like that's a lot of what the Brooklyn Nets are right now. And I don't see that winning a championship personally.
And no, it's not the key to success to have just 3 stars and try to go after with 1 ball because you're not going to outscore everybody every night.
No, I don't see it.
So that's just why I think the trade Kyrie is.
It'd be interesting. A big deal. I would like to see that. We don't really have a question to talk about today, but I have some options if
I do have this one statement here. Mm-hmm. Going back to the Raptors, this whole losing Kawhi thing. Read it a bunch.
Okay.
It's pissing me off.
Okay.
We didn't lose Kawhi.
Right. No.
If you listen to Kawhi from the moment that he was traded.
He was never coming back.
He said, I'm going to give you my best year.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring you a championship and do my best to bring you a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see what happens after that. And that's exactly what he did. Like, I never expect him to come back. So this whole, like, how do we recover after losing Kawhi? To me, I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
Like, we knew. We had a really good understanding that it was a one and done.
Yep. He's not coming back ever.
Because more teams were willing, like there was a team that was willing to do way more. And I had that feeling. I didn't know it was going to be the Clippers, but I had a feeling that a team was willing to do whatever it took to get that guy.
Now, there was a chance he came back come end of the year. It was just like, it looked like we might have had him convinced enough that like, this is a team I want to play for. And he loved the guys here and he loved being here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Ibaka was a big part of that too. Like staying here and telling him like, this is a franchise that you could be a part of, but then.
But it wasn't that we lost him. It was that we just didn't win him over is the thing.
And so I don't like this whole, like, how are the Raptors recovering with losing Kawhi? And it's also now more than just Kawhi who's gone.
Yeah.
right? You're missing your whole interior defense there, and your big men are gone.
Yeah.
In Ibaka and Gasol, so
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like the whole. We didn't lose them.
Oh.
We just didn't win them.
No, that's fair. I agree. Do you have one big overarching question for this episode, or I can pull up some activities we can do?
I mean,
I don't think we.
What's your mindset? I know. I kind of had the thing here about incentive-based contracts.
Okay, cool.
Because some leagues use them, some leagues don't. NFL uses them. MLB.
I don't hate them.
Uses them.
I think they're cool.
That's what I mean. Like I just, if you had to choose one over the other,
I guess
like what
I think
would be,
for the sport and for the business, I think incentive-based things are great because it forces guys to show up every night. Like if you want to make your money, you got to play. Like you can't just sit back and just sit on this 10 million you have because you've already signed the deal. It's like you have to show up and you have to do your job and you have to do what you're paid to do in order to get that money. And I like that. But
I mean, that's the one thing I loved about the Kirby Yates deal is that it's a base, and then he can earn up to a certain amount based off incentives. You know, if he makes, I think he signed for 5.5, and he can make up to 9.5, I believe, with incentive. Like, but like if you close a certain amount of games, you make an all-star appearance, you have you can earn it yourself, man. I love that.
It's up to you at that point. I do really like that. That's a great.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, man, like when Tom Brady was a Patriot, like he would cut his contract, the base, and then it would be incentive based because it worked differently against the cap, right? And so they could actually fit a little more players in there. And it was like perfect, man. He's driving himself every season to earn his money.
If you have a bunch of guys on incentive-based contracts, your team is going to be good because they are going to play for their money. Instead of getting their money to play, they're going to play.
So can you imagine, let's flip it to the NHL. Yeah. Now, Mitch Marner's 11 million let's say it's incentive
based. To score 90 points a year to get that $11 million, you're looking at a very different Mitch Marner.
So he signs a $9 million base deal. Mm-hmm. Everybody's okay with that. Mm-hmm. And his incentive is 11.5. Okay.
Go hit it. If you hit it, man, I think you've earned it. If you can go out there, if he puts up your incentive is 100 points and he goes out and he hits 102 points, you earn that $11 million, sure, because you're one of the top scorers in the league.
I don't know the cons about it. Maybe I don't know too much about the incentive-based contract.
Not ideal.
Not on that side of the field. That's why we're talking about the sports and not looking into them. And this isn't like a business. We are
not an in-depth podcast. That's
we're not a sports business podcast. We are just a sports analyst.
We like to have fun. We don't
maybe.
We don't like to think too much. We're not big thinkers.
We like sports.
We like sports. We don't like business.
No. So
it's not the
I just like they just seem like a real good idea, and I wish that they had them more across sports. I feel like you get a lot better talent.
I agree.
That's it. That's my offhanded comment. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing here today, we're on Zoom.
Yeah, we're on Zoom.
There's no timer for how long we've gone. So I really
we'll never know.
I don't really know.
Not even if you do the other view.
No, nothing. Just this. This is what it is.
No, you're right.
I'm assuming. What time is it? We've only been doing this for a little over an hour. We got a little bit of time, I think.
Okay.
I have this Would You Rather thing. It's kind of fun. We do it on the other podcast sometimes. You down for it?
I'm in. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's this website. It comes up with things for me. I'll read off the ones. If they're stupid, no, they're just general life things here. So this is you're going to get a peek into what we are as humans here.
Yeah. If you've stayed this long, you're really going to get to know us here.
We appreciate it, and we're rewarding you with the insides of what we are.
I just want to say that our podcast, even though they've cut off the last two, have been perfect for my drive into work. And it's incredible. When you start to listen to yourself, and you're like, oh, man, I shouldn't say that as much.
That is the one thing. If you're still listening and you decide that you want to be in podcasting or any sort of media stuff, listen to yourself. Like when you do this stuff, because you actually learn a lot about what you do wrong, and you can really pick up on the things you make mistakes on.
I argued with myself once. It was funny. I made a point. I thought about it later. Didn't like that point. I'm not going to tell anybody what it was.
I've noticed it once or twice. I'm like, didn't you just say the opposite?
I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Oh,
just let it roll. Maybe no one notices, but I guess they
does.
No.
I throw numbers. I throw names. I put you this direction, that direction, and
you're so lost. You're so confused. You agree with both sides of me. You're like, yeah, that guy's so right. Yeah, no.
Would you rather? I sit on the fence perfectly.
I would be the or.
I am the or.
All right. I'm going to skip the stupid ones because I have the option to skip questions and stuff. But this one's kind of neat. Would you rather have everything you touch turn to dust or have everything you touch turn to gold?
Oh. I'm going to say gold. I'll just be really selective.
Gold, yeah. Like, it kind of sucks because, like, if you have a dog or a girlfriend or anything, you can't touch them because they're going to turn into either one. They're going to turn into something. But
so I'm going to go in depth and be like, so if I have mittens on and I turn those into gold, do I still like touch everything else and that's gold, or just I got gold mittens? You know?
Can you wear gloves? Like, I see what your point is, and then
they're going to be gold. Like I get it. I'm touching.
But are they solid gold? Like, can I like not curl my hands and shit?
What's the weight of my hands?
There's no real like in depth
that's
to
good.
this, so I don't know.
I like the gold dust because like what happens if like I don't want to Thanos people?
Nah, that's what I mean. Like I'd rather have a gold item after touching it than turning it into dust, right?
What if I go to accidentally like
What if I'm walking around just dust, and just I'm fucking me in a world of dust?
It's just dust. Yeah.
Well, my house. So just touch my wall right now. Boom, dust. I'm not living in anything.
Does the dust turn to dust? At least gold would turn to gold. Like I just multiply.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just sell that to the guy that I just turned into gold.
That was good.
What's this one?
So in case you didn't catch that, we're gold diggers. We wanted
gold diggers. That's a dumb one. Oh, that's cool. Would you rather be a pirate or be a ninja?
I'm gonna say a pirate.
Really?
Oh, buddy, they had.
I would like an explanation.
Regard. Yeah. So I love being on a ship.
Right.
For first off.
Okay. Like, yeah, boats are cool. I'll give you that.
Being in the sea, I think just sailing anywhere, not knowing where you're going would be cool. Plus, they took whatever they wanted. They did whatever they wanted. They drank. They got in there.
They live a fun life.
They had no teeth. They didn't care.
I think I'd rather be a ninja.
Okay, an explanation.
I just think like they're like real low key about everything, but they're like so cool with the shit they do. They are very talented at doing lots of hand-eye related stuff. Obviously they're quiet. I'm not a very quiet human being, so that doesn't really fit my build.
So you're going for the opposite. You'd be like Beverly Hills Ninja. Farley, like not the actual like ninja. Have you seen that? You should watch that. I don't think so. Watch it on Netflix. It's got Chris Rock, Chris Farley. It's funny. He's like a ninja, and he's not a ninja. He's just.
See, I'd like to be able to like throw ninja stars and shit, and just like.
Okay.
And just.
Yeah, I want to light the cannon though.
There's a lot less diseases involved in ninjas than there is in pirates. Like I'm not about to get scurvy.
I get that. I wanted the flag though. I want to be at the top. See, I'm picturing myself as captain though. So like I'm the captain now.
Okay.
Like I get up.
You're Jack Sparrow.
I'm Jack Sparrow. Right. Yeah. Dude, Jack Sparrow gets into how many shenanigans and survives?
And he gets out of it. I wouldn't mind being Jack Sparrow. You're right, but I think I'd rather be the ninja.
Even Leo. I'd be Leo.
Sure.
Would you rather? Leo. My bad. That's a mix up right there. I forgot. Haven't seen. I thought it was Leonardo DiCaprio, but he's above that.
No, that's Johnny Depp.
Yeah. No, I'm saying the partner with him is Orlando Bloom.
Oh, Orlando Bloom. Yeah.
Yeah, but I said Leo. I just like Leo.
Same.
I think he's
same.
Everything.
I'd rather be Leo too. Would you rather be a dinosaur or be a narwhal?
I'm not confident I know exactly what narwhals look like.
Narwhal's like the big whale with the unicorn horn basically out of its head. Like the thing in Elf. Yeah, the thing in Elf. Hi, Mr. Narwhal. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Bye, buddy.
Exactly. Would you rather be that or be a dinosaur?
I'd rather be a dinosaur.
Now, it depends on the dinosaur.
Oh, but I get to pick, do I not?
I would assume. It doesn't really give me that option. It just says
be a raptor,
be a dinosaur. Like
a
if I'm a raptor, but like if I'm a raptor,
maybe a T-Rex,
I'm like I got those little ass arms. I can't do anything. I got
a big head. I know I already have a big head, but I don't need that size head.
I want to be the stegosaur, whatever those things are with the spikes on its back. Those are pretty cool. Okay. But like being a narwhal, you get to swim around all day. And you have that horn, and like if anyone tries to fight you, you can just like Jedi them with your horn. Just
I think I'd rather be a dinosaur. There's more variety, I think.
That you're right. Because of that, I think you're right. I think I'm gonna have to go with dinosaur.
Like I like velociraptors.
You can also walk around on the land as a dinosaur, and like a narwhal, you're just stuck in the water and you can't do much. I agree. You're
Does
right.
crocodile count? Alligators,
Narwhals
aren't
are
those
cool.
dinosaurs? Could I be like an alligator? Aren't those
They're
in the same
they're
family?
so chill. That would make sense.
Yeah. Everyone's afraid of me. No one will come fuck with me if I'm an alligator. I don't actually know if that's a dinosaur. I'm pretty sure it was in the family.
Ooh, that's a good one. Would you rather spend Monday to Saturday knocking down the wall of China for the rest of your life?
Monday to Saturday.
Monday
Oh
to
man,
Saturday. So basically, you
off.
get Sunday to relax and go to church,
I like how it's Sunday. Yeah, let's.
or never be able to leave your bedroom.
So I'm always going from
Monday to
Saturday.
Saturday. You're at the Great Wall of China knocking it down, but you get Sunday to do whatever you want.
But there's never a point that I can just like
You don't take vacation. You just knock down the Wall of China Monday to Saturday.
24 hours, 4 hours a day. That's it.
Ooh,
I'm
it
at
doesn't
that
really
wall.
say, but I'm going with 4 hours
Sleep
a
at the
day.
wall.
You are
Going to
sleeping
the
at the
wall.
wall.
Dude, I would go nuts in my bedroom.
You are
I would absolutely lose my mind.
Jon Snow at the wall, eh? That's what you're doing?
Yeah, I am at the wall. I'm breaking it down because to me,
You're
like
on the
maybe
wall.
at some point this wall would be gone.
I would assume eventually you'd knock down the whole wall.
Am I the only one
I don't
breaking
know.
down the wall?
Is there a team of people at the wall?
Yeah. What am I breaking it down with?
Do I have a hammer?
But no, I would break down the wall. I'm going. I don't think there needs to be a wall, anyways. Why build a wall? That just creates divide. You know,
Right.
I'm for no walls. I'm on that team. I'm on the no wall team.
Just get rid of the walls. No walls ever.
No
Pillars
wall team.
only.
That's
Just a bunch of pillars.
it.
No wind protection. We're
Keep the
good.
walls. Put maybe a little gate. You know, that's more inviting. Oh, you've got a gate. You know, not a wall.
Oh, this is a game. It's a fence.
Yeah, you know, look at that. It's a nice little picket fence. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a wall.
My house is built on picket fences.
Look at the great picket fence of China. Like, that's awesome. It's the longest picket fence we've ever
Fence of China. Oh no. I think I'd be on the never leaving my bedroom team because like it's kind of just what's been happening for the past year. So what's any different right now? Like if I get one day off, and I'm assuming I'm staying in China because I'm not going to travel on the one day that I have off to go anywhere else. I'm stuck in China. And I'm going to get bored of doing the same shit in China every day. At least here I can like watch shit every day, play video games, keep chatting everybody.
You can watch me breaking down the wall in China.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, how's your wall breaking going?
Is it broken? There.
Ah, your hammer's broken. Shit.
Axe where I'm just like kind of going away for years, but it's the whole wall. Yeah, I don't know.
You got the fence
but
up
that's Sunday.
yet?
That's Sunday. Oh my god. Remember, 6 foot in the ground.
Anything I can try and order it from my house. Yeah,
I'll send you some stuff.
I'll send it to you.
So opposite. I could see you doing that.
I would say. Oh,
I mean, Sundays for football, so God, I get football.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. That's
Super
a good
Bowl.
point. But
Yeah, I'll come over on Super
Bowl. Okay, yeah, and we'll watch the Super Bowl because it didn't say I can't have people come over to my bedroom, right? No, I just can't leave it.
You just can't leave.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
I would not care about what you ate either, by the way. If you're stuck in your bedroom.
Who cares? You could be fucking 500 pounds at that point. You're not. Who cares? What do you have to do? You might as well end your life quick with diabetes.
Enjoy life. You know, there's only so many games you're gonna be able to look at in movies.
Sure.
You could literally see every movie and play every game if you're stuck there.
Yeah,
for the rest
absolutely. I would. Endless. The possibilities are endless. It's a tough one. Would you rather kill a 5-year-old girl's puppy?
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Or kill an old lady's cat? That's tough. Morbid, but tough.
Can you go first? Because I don't want to.
I'm killing the cat. I fucking hate cats. I'm killing the cat in a heartbeat.
I'm not doing it because I hate cats. I'm doing it because
I'm not breaking a 5-year-old's heart.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier to explain that to an old lady. Like, look, it was a sick.
I didn't have a choice. It was either this or I die.
It was this or a 5-year-old girl's dog. So I think you understand what's going on. Yeah, like, and that girl would hate me for she's 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of life left of hers to hate me with. The old lady can be done in 5 years, 2 years. Yeah,
even still,
absolutely.
Like, who's gonna forget first?
The old lady could have dementia quick. You never know.
She can be forgiving. She's seen
yeah.
a lot of stuff, you know. She's like, yeah, you know what? That's fine, kid.
What if this 5-year-old girl becomes the president one day, and I'm in the country, or I guess our prime minister? She's
thank me.
Yeah. And if I killed her puppy when she was 5,
if I killed
her puppy when she's 5, she's not going to be happy with me when she gets into power. She's going to be pissed.
No.
I'm going to jail.
I want to thank the man who saved my puppy when I was 5 and killed that old lady's cat. Because of you, I'm president today.
Who I am today. Yeah. That puppy helped me live.
Yeah. And Godspeed. Enjoy your Sunday off from the wall.
All right, this is a good one. Not as much.
That was a whistle.
Let's do 3 more because I think we got time for 3 more.
Yeah, and I got 11%. Oh, 9. I just I knew I was looking at it.
Two more then.
2 more.
Would you rather taste the same flavor of food or taste nothing ever again?
Oh fuck, it'd be same flavor, man.
Yeah. Eventually,
I'd
hate like tasting nothing, anyways. Though.
Yeah, at least you get some taste. I could pick the taste too, right?
Thing.
Like,
then it's the same thing over and over and over, and it's basically like tasting nothing, anyways.
Okay,
I feel like
I would just have it taste like red meat all the time, and that'd be great because like steak.
Okay.
If I had every food taste like steak, oh my god, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Or McDonald's.
I mean,
I'd have it taste.
It would be
like
great
McDonald's
at first, but like when you like,
that's what it would taste. My taste be or KFC gravy. There you go. I'm taking KFC gravy. Everything I taste tastes like.
Have you ever had pizza like a lot of nights in a row? No, I've never had pizza. Like a lot of nights in a row.
But how do you say
more than 2 pizza? Pizza? You ever heard of it? This is Italian food. It's,
I think the most I've had it is like 3 nights in a row.
Right. How sick of it do you get after night 3?
Yeah.
No?
I love it.
Man, we had this hockey tournament when I was younger one time, and our manager, Filthy Rich, he bought us like 30 party-sized pizzas, I think it was, something stupid like that. And we ate pizza all weekend because nobody finished it. So I had pizza for lunch and dinner every single day. And by the time we hit the Sunday, I'm like, I never want to see a pizza again.
I love it.
So if you're hitting the same flavor of food every day, eventually you're just going to get sick of eating.
Okay, but then you're eating that pizza and you just taste nothing. And then you go and eat the ice cream next to it and you taste nothing. And then you go and eat.
At least I fulfill my soul. I think that's my point. What do we got? Is this one any good? That one's stupid. No.
I'm glad that we kind of recovered from the girl and old lady situation.
We're getting a little
different path we were going on. And these questions going to be like, what would you save, your mother or your father? Go. Like, oh my gosh.
All right, this one's kind of stupid, but would you rather always have fingernails 5 inches or longer, or have a snorkel on your face permanently? Now, let's point out there's some serious health ramifications to breathing through a tube constantly.
Freaking long.
Yeah.
The fingernails are fucking long, man.
5 inches. That may not be long to some people.
If you're one of those out there, 5 inches is long. I got the fingernails for you. I got the
nails for you, buddy.
See, do I have to worry about the health complications? Because if there's no health complications, I'm taking the snorkel.
Yes. No?
But I would take the snorkel because I'm ready for a deep sea adventure always.
I think that you're not wrong. I was thinking of that too. I'm like, you know what? If I go near water, I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And we go.
Also, am I just wearing it? Like I can have it like the whole setup where it's just hanging on my face type of deal? Like, do I get the goggles?
Well, it doesn't say goggles. It just says snorkel.
This would you rather needs to have a definition. Would you rather, and then it's like a full run-on sentence.
And then you're like, more info. What else?
Yeah, it's like with Guess Who, how I wanted to know their personalities and stuff. Like, what do they do for a career? I want to ask those questions. That's how you really change up the game.
There's like
does he have any kids? Is he divorced? You know, those are the Guess Who questions that are good. You know, what school did he attend?
How would you describe his financial situation?
Right. Is he Commonwealth or?
This is kind of funny. There's like a ton of people that have like commented on these things. It's actually
just how bad they are.
No, just in general. This guy goes, my snorkel would be enchanted with invisibility and some other thing that makes it intangible because I'm a badass. This guy's
No,
adding things to the snorkel.
I'm going snorkel. I'll be Scuba Steve. It'll be great.
This guy goes, think of it realistically. How are you going to put an enchantment on it? And the next guy goes, shut the fuck, Alex. Shut the fuck up, Alex. Don't ruin his dreams.
There's some major beef on the internet over the snorkel. Yeah.
5 inches.
Snorkel.
I don't know if that's long enough to like. I've seen people with nails like that, and like they live. I don't know if I want to snorkel on my mouth. The rest. How do I talk?
Okay, but you've seen people do it. Like, what kind of quality of life are they living? How are you going to be able to do certain things?
Have you
with
ever
those
seen
nails?
someone walk around with a snorkel every day, though? No.
Exactly.
Like,
That'd
I
be a
know
world
you can
phenomenon.
live with 5-inch nails. I don't know if you can live with the snorkel.
I would be famous
How
as
do
that
you
guy
eat?
with the snorkel.
You push it in the snorkel to eat it?
But I'm asking, if I get the goggles, I can just
Right.
rest it here.
I know, but
you
it's not giving us that option. It just says snorkel.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm putting down in my rules. If this guy has his little invisibility enchantment,
Then
then
I
I've
get
got my
goggles.
goggles, and I'm putting it to the side, and yes, that's it. I'll always have the snorkel on me.
Is it one of those snorkels with like the ball at the top so you can go underwater and come back up and you don't need a
Oh, do I have a
like those
scuba
are cool?
snorkel?
Or is it like the open hole? Because like if it's the ball thing, you're not pushing food down the snorkel. If it's the open snorkel, you're not going underwater, but you can eat.
Am I getting choppy? I feel a little
No,
choppy.
you're good on my end.
That's good. I was kind of freezing. It looked like I was, slow-mo.
How
much? Cool.
How much battery you have left?
I'm at 5. We're
Oof.
rolling. Will
Okay.
it save if I just like cut out? Like, will that be the end of the episode?
Yeah, we'll all right, we'll end on a sports one because this is a good one. We'll end on this. Would you rather play for the Red Sox or play for the Yankees?
Wow, I really don't know. Actually, I didn't even have I thought maybe I'd just shoot from the hip and say one.
I got one.
Yeah, no. All right, I'd go Red Sox.
Me too. Fuck the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm not about to play for that franchise. Just trash fans. Good organization.
Also,
they win, but
I would probably have ridiculous numbers at Fenway. I am a
yeah.
great hitter on that side, and hitting.
You know what?
Over that-
Come to think of it, I would be much better at Yankee Stadium. I am a lefty,
Okay.
and lefties can crunch balls out of there. So you got a
I've
good
got
point there, but I don't want to play for the Yankees. So
No, I would just crunch it over, and because my balls go high, I get into that.
Just, you're not hitting line shots, so you're not. Hitting,
I can get under.
You're getting over the wall, just barely. It's a wall scraper, but it's getting over the
I
wall.
don't care. That dude ain't jumping that
It's
high.
still a home run.
And even if it bounces off the wall, I got the wheels, I got the length. We were just talking about that in hockey. I just have to go out and learn around the bases, and that's
You're
it.
right. I you know what? I like that logic. Your logic makes sense for me at Yankee Stadium, but no fucking way am I playing for the Yankees.
Fuck the Yankees.
That's it from us. Hopefully this episode releases fully. Follow us
Would
at
you rather
the BnB pod.
subscribe or like us? That'll be the question.
Both.
For you fans.
Would you rather click subscribe or click like? We would rather.
And you can
both.
do both. Yeah, we would rather. But
follow us at the BnB pod _ on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, obviously. Check out theasports.com. We got all sorts of merch coming out and new hockey stuff. Use the promo code FACEOFF. I'm going to have it a little bit longer. 15% off your entire order. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like
good
that.
deal right now. So
all right.
Thanks for listening.
I'm going there right now. I'm going there with my 5%. So let's get off quick. I need to get my order in.
Got to get shopping quick before that laptop dies. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Enjoy.
Cheers.